The second category is the trend analysis. As shown at the top, the trend analysis offers 7 functions. Firstly, the one EXEM review allows you to quickly analyze the peak hours during the day and the programs, modules, and SQLs that performed during those hours. You can select yesterday, today, or any particular date. Then you can select the top count. By clicking Retrieve, you can view hourly performance statistics for yesterday. The elapsed time shows the sum of Oracle's wait time, which is the system-level wait time, and the CPU used by the session indicator among the Oracle stats. And CPU shows you the US level CPU usage. By doubling here, you can view hourly history for logical I/O and physical I/O. Clicking a bar here changes the middle section. Selecting the elapsed time bar gives you top information based on elapsed time. Clicking the CPU bar gives you top information based on CPU. You can also toggle and click logical read to view top information based on logical reads. Clicking physical read gives you top information based on physical reads. Now, if you click 6 based on elapsed time, you can view top schemas, programs, modules, and SQL that were performed during that hour. When you click a cell of the top grid in the middle, the bottom part shows the performance history of SQLs that were performed in the selected schema. Clicking a particular program gives you the SQL performance history of that program. And clicking a particular module gives you the SQL performance history of that module. In other words, if peaks occurred in a particular hour, you can quickly find out which schema, program, module, or SQL used most resources at that time. The bottleneck section lets you analyze conflicts. The top part shows the active user session count and the log waiting session count. The active user sessions are provided as hourly averages and the log waiting sessions as hourly maximum values. Wait class gives you Oracle's waiting time based on class. By clicking a particular hour, you can view a list of events that waited the longest during the time. And on the right, you can see the percentage by Oracle class. During this particular hour, the user I/O wait class has relatively long wait time, most of which were filled with a waiting event called DB file sequential read. And when you click the corresponding event, you can see a list of SQLs with long wait time for that particular event. Not only the elapsed time and CPU time of the corresponding SQL, but the waiting time spent waiting for the selected wait event DB file sequential read can be seen. Similarly, it can right-click data to access a variety of linked functions. Secondly, the performance trend is one of the distinctive features that have been provided since very early versions of MaxGauge. You can view trends for up to 2 days. One slight change from the previous version is that, in the previous version, the trends were drawn using the 1-minute summary data. But that made the display slow, so from version 5 onwards, we are using a 10-minute summary data. This results in a huge advantage that the trends can be drawn quickly. In the past, however, you could double-click a particular point to view a session list for that point. This method has changed in version 5 and later to dragging the peak point. Let me drag the peak segment of active user session. You get 2 options when dragging. You can choose to do a detailed analysis using the 1-minute trend. Or you can choose to do a comprehensive analysis for the selected segment. Let's jump to the default 1-minute trend analysis. As you can see, you're taken to 1-minute trend analysis screen. Showing at the top is the performance trends by minutes. So you can view the weight class trends, active user session, and other important stats. The Top Events tab in the middle provides you the trends by automatically extracting the 5 top events. The 5 events extracted here are those with the longest sums of wait time in the segment. You can see that the wait event called DB file sequential read has the longest wait time in this segment. You can also view trends of a particular event. Click this to go back. And the weight information. These 4 default information types are provided. As for the value, you can view the stats and weight events during the 1 minute you selected. You can also check the buffer cache hit ratio. In the OS stat, you can view used memory and free memory. You can also check the lot tray information and the PQ tray information as well. Showing at the bottom is a detailed listing of active sessions. Second-by-second data of the active sessions that you saw in real-time monitoring appear here. You can also view the process information on the list of the processes that have the highest usage of the CPU and memory. As for the active session, it is highly necessary to identify at exactly which second the active sessions peaked. That's why MaxGauge has this function to show you the second-by-second count of active sessions. By clicking a peak point, you can move to that corresponding 1 second. Also, provided here are 2 statistics functions. First, at the bottom, you can see that sessions are undergoing various events at the moment. Analyzing the sessions in second units of time while performing 1-minute data analysis takes a lot of work. So, to simplify such tasks, we provide the 1-minute summary function. You can click to view waiting classes and wait time for each wait event at the top. The first one is analysis in the perspective of classes. You can see right now that most of the user I/O classes have long waiting times. And showing at the bottom is in the perspective of wait event. You can see that DB file sequential read wait event has been on standby continuously. You can also see that log file sync happened at the particular time. There is also a button called Stat Analysis. While 1-second data and 1-minute data analysis are important, you sometimes need to do a comprehensive analysis of a problematic segment which may be very wide in range. The Stat Analysis button offers you a very convenient analysis function. For instance, the top-end analysis functions that we talked about earlier are provided in this segment. In the top events, there are also linked analysis for identifying which of the wait events had longest wait times and which SQLs waited for those wait events. Also, for greater convenience of understanding, we offer you an analysis by Oracle wait classes. This might seem a bit like an overlap. The concept of wait class is important because, in the case of RAC-related events are divided into placeholder events and fix-up events. This means that it is impossible to identify association between wait events and related SQLs. So, for such cases, MaxGauge allows you to track down SQLs in the perspective of wait classes. Using the session list is simple. By entering a particular SID or SQL ID, you can extract the second-by-second data of a specific session. Let's copy one SID and retrieve the data. As you can see, second-by-second performance history of the session is provided. Using the SQL list is also simple. As you can see, this screen extracts specific SQLs using a wide variety of search conditions. Let's copy one SQL ID and do a search. As shown here, you can view a 10-minute summary information of the SQL. This is the long-term trend section. The long-term trend in SQL analysis is in the perspective of SQLs, and the long-term trend in trend analysis is in the perspective of trends. Two important functions are provided here. For statistics, we can view daily trends of all performance indicators that are stored. For example, you can view CPU usage for the last month based on CPU data. By clicking a particular date, you can view performance history of that date. And when you drag it like this, you will be taken to the performance trend that we saw earlier. So this function helps you to do a detailed analysis of a particular time. Let's return to the long-term trend. The Class tab offers trends by three conditions: wait class, latch wait time, and in-queue wait time. When you search by wait class, you can view trends by wait class. When you click a data bar, a tab opens showing your daily trends of a particular event. What about latch wait time and in-queue wait time? Article 9i and later provides a highly detailed latch event information instead of the wait event called latch free. In-queue has also become highly detailed. Therefore, you need a screen that offers a comprehensive analysis of such wait events. As you can see, wait time information for various in-queues are provided here. The information here intuitively shows you that contention of HW in-queue was quite serious. The bottom section shows you trends by specific time period. Parameters are provided in three different tabs. Pre-check includes some parameters that we thought were more important than others. Provided here are four categories. Search results shows all parameters collected unless a specific search filter is provided. Modification history is basically a history of change. This shows the history of changes made to date since the product was installed. As shown here, you can view modifications of parameters by date. So this is useful when you want to identify any small changes in parameter values by date. Alert log shows you Oracle's alert log and logs of alarm whose thresholds can be configured manually. Let's do a search for all alarms at levels in the last month. In Alert Log, you can view the Oracle Alert Log information. For alarms, you can view the alarm trigger count by date, as well as the related details in the bottom. That's all for trend analysis.